we're going to talk about steps to setting goals and sticking to them. But guess what? Most people don't stick to them. I'm just going to give you 10 steps in setting goals. We talk about, vision, and we're going to go without vision. I mean, because we know that you have to create this vision, right? Purpose and vision. And it's in addition to just understanding why your goal matters, right? So I had this goal of having abs by 1/1 of 2025, and I can say I accomplished that goal. I've sent out some pictures. Hey, this is, and I'm not going to put the picture here, but that was, I visualized then that so that I could understand why I wanted those goals. I wanted those goals because that's kind of like a marker, right? If you have abs, then you're in a healthy weight or whatever, right? And you've been working on your core, etc. So you got to develop that compelling vision of what your future looks like and as it's already achieved. Now, I know some people disagree with that, but I think you visualize it and when you're writing your goals like you've already achieved it. That's the next part. You get it in your head, you got to write it down. So that's from Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is you have to write it all down and not, I don't think in your phone, not like with your thumbs. Visualizing that positive impact that you'll have. Like again, the abs, hey, I'm going to feel like I go to the beach, I can take my shirt off, I've got abs, whatever. And then how that impacts how that positively impacts you and your success, and how that success of reaching that goal what impact it'll have on your life and other people's lives. Okay, not the abs have impacted anybody else's lives, but so it's that deep why that Simon Sinek talks about. Identify your why at a deeper level. What's the core value or belief that's driving that goal? Okay, this adds emotional fuel to your motivation. Like for me, it's been a long time since I have abs. So I'm saying if I can have abs at 59 years old, then, my diet's pretty good, my workout's pretty good, etc. Okay, so then set SMART goals, right? And everybody knows what those SMART goals, they got to stretch. You can't just have SMART goals. It's critical that you go beyond your abilities, if that makes sense. It's kind of this balance between achievable goals and stretch goals. I tell our team sometimes I've never had a goal that I actually reached, right? But that's because I keep on, that horizon keeps changing for me. Perfection keeps changing. And key is not to just reach something doable, but set goals that forces growth and pushes your boundaries, right? Make it audacious. That's from Good to Great. Big audacious goals, right? And aim for a goal that excites you. If it's money, then it's something that brings you kind of closer to your hedgehog concept, the intersection of passion, proficiency, and profit. And that's from Good to Great. Again, these are books. I just want to kind of identify some of these books and where these ideas come from, because if you want to go deeper into something, then you can do it. So again, set those goals, but stretch goals. Okay. Then I think this is really important. Step 3 is you break it down into smaller steps. So when you have a big goal, then you put it into smaller, manageable tasks. Okay. That's from Atomic Habits by James Clear. And you focus on the process rather than observing the outcome. Nick and I were talking about something last week, and he said, I can only control my input, not the output. And I totally agree with that. Focus on your actions, not just the results. If it's getting in shape or working out, then work out 6 days a week. You don't know what is going to happen, right? It's not, if I work out 6 days a week, then I get this, and then that's not how it works. But if I'm working out 6 days a week, then I should be making progress, which is what we talk about all the time. So actions, not results. Focus on daily habits. I want a great book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Incorporate habits that will compound over time and bring incremental progress. So that's just like the working out. I'm working out 6 days a week. I'm going to make progress. And those daily habits seem small, but over time, they'll accumulate into this larger goal. And in me, like working out, I mean, it's taken years to get to where I want to be, right? But I'm making progress all the time. So I'm happy, because one of the definitions of happiness according to Tony Robbins, is making progress. Okay, so now we have, what is your action plan? Create an action plan. So daily success habits, what Hal Elrod in the Miracle Morning calls, you develop a morning routine that primes your day for success. Could be exercise, journaling, meditation, everything that gets you in the right mindset to tackle your goals. Okay, fine. I get up at 4:30, 4:45, depending on when I'm going to work out. Have a little bit of coffee, a little bit of food. My mindset right. I do my devotional. I read, I write down some action steps. I get ready to go. Then I go work out. When I'm done working out, I'm ready to tackle the day after a shower. All right. So work backwards. This is one thing that this is an old book. I'm telling you, begin with the end, or start with the goal in mind. Begin with the end in mind. A concept from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This allows you to see exactly what actions are needed in the present, right? So start with the end goal in mind. Begin with the end in mind, I think is the way that he says it. So then you have to, this is hard, by the way, this next one, okay? But it's from The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Mental rehearsal. Visualization works best when you actively rehearse achieving your goal in your mind. Picture yourself overcoming the obstacles and feeling the joy of success is what he says. All right, so how do you do that? Well, I know you can't see this, but I have a vision board right here. And so visualization board, that's from, where I got it from was from The Secret, Rhonda Byrne. And create a vision board is a physical reminder of your goals. Seeing images, what you want. I used to put sticky notes on my mirror. So every morning it would help strengthen my belief and maintain focus on, like, hey, I think I want an Egg McMuffin this morning. Then I would look on there, have abs by 1/125. Okay, is that going to get me closer to my goal or further away? Obviously further away. Right, so daily and weekly reviews. This is from the 12-week year, Michael Lennington, right? I know it says Brian Moran, but Michael Lennington, I was going to say, is the brains behind that operation. But anyway, that maybe not be fair. Break your yearly goals into 12-week chunks, and then review your progress weekly and make adjustments to your plan. Regular reviews ensure that you remain on track and motivated, right? So 12-week year. I mean, I'm giving you a lot of books that you really want to go deep in. You can read these books. But also Gary Keller in The One Thing says, measure the leading indicators. Focus on the activities that directly drive your goal. The more time you spend on lead measures, the closer you're going to get to achieving your target. So monitor progress. The way that you would do that, you were losing weight, is a scale, right? Or better yet, not a scale, like a DEXA scan, where it tells you your body fat, your bone density, your muscle mass. It goes all the way down to, hey, your right leg has this much muscle mass, your left leg has this much. That's measuring. Scale could be, well, I don't know how much of it's water, how much of it's whatever. Accountability, okay? Public commitment. Again, from Darren Hardy and The Compound Effect. It increases your likelihood. How many times have you heard me say, I'm going to have abs by 1/125? It increases your likelihood of success by publicly committing to your goal. I see people do this all the time with running a marathon or something. Announce your target goal to other people. Now, to me, you do it to the trusted people that you have, not somebody that's going to poo-poo it or try to knock you down or create this negative noise. But that social pressure to follow through is a really good motivator. And then have accountability groups, which comes from the Go-Giver and Bob Berg. Surround yourself with that tight-knit group of people that are like-minded and hold each other accountable and encourage each other's growth. So we always talk about it, if you're hanging out at McDonald's, then you're probably going to get a different result than if you're hanging out at a serious gym, right? Where people are serious about their goals. So the other thing is that you have to have grace for yourself and cultivate this resilience and flexibility. What I mean by that is from Carol Dweck's mindset, growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. Setbacks as opportunities for growth, right? If you have this fixed mindset of, hey, I'm just good at this, I just have abs all the time, I just, whatever, or I don't have abs, I got a keg. You hear people say that. But if you adopting a growth mindset, you'll be more resilient, because believing that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work versus just God-given is the key to that, right? That I'm going to learn. Hey, I learned that if I eat this, then I'm not going in the right direction, or et cetera. And then embrace failure. Okay. And that comes from Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. Don't fear failure. Okay. Use it as feedback to adjust your course. Now, Napoleon Hill discusses how failure can be a teacher if you're willing to learn from it. And in this book, he's interviewing the devil. And the devil said, and he's saying, well, how do you get people to quit? How do you get people to just live their lives being numb and everything else? And he tells them, get doubt in their head, right? Okay, so then you got to keep your motivation high. So how do you do that? You have to find your intrinsic motivation. Focus on intrinsic rewards, autonomy, mastery, purpose, rather than external rewards like money or status. This helps your motivation sustain over a longer period of time. So like at Create Tailwind, one of our goals is then to impact 1 billion people. Okay, so it's not to impact 1 billion people so we can make $1 billion or some weird thing like that. It's because we want to have impact on other people's lives, and we want them to have an impact on their community, their kingdom, etc. Right? So self-compassion from Kristen Neff. Stay kind to yourself through the process. Self-criticism can sap motivation, but self-compassion encourages resilience and perseverance. And then the last thing, okay? The last thing is review and adjust. Okay, regular reflection. And that's from Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Work Week. Set aside time each week to see, how did I do? What's working? What's not working? How can I adjust? Right? We do this all the time in business, but it's your goals and your actions, right? Reflect on the goal, reflect on the action. Is the action in line with the goal? If it's not, then change it. Right? I mean, that's what Tony Robbins says, is iterate and experiment. Is willing to experiment and iterate. If something isn't working, adjust the plan rather than giving up. This idea comes from Robbins' approach to continuous growth and improvement, which is constant and never-ending improvement, progress, grace, don't quit, find the help, do all of those things. That's my 10 steps from the books that I've read to the things that I know works for me. And I'm telling you, if you just start the journey and then just keep going, it'll happen. It'll happen over time. It won't happen as fast as you want. It won't be as easy as you want. Okay. And you will hit plateaus and you will have failure. You just have to accept that. And like Mike Tyson says, you have to love that crap. Right? All right, that's it for this week. So thank you very much. I hope that was helpful on setting the goals. Thank you all for being here. Godspeed.